If you are a U.S. citizen, a green card holder, or a family member waiting for a visa approval, please take a moment to breathe with me. I mean that sincerely. Just one breath. Because I know what the headlines look like right now. I know you have seen the words green card and requirements and confirmed in the same sentence, and I know that your heart may have skipped just a little. That is completely understandable. The news cycle today is loud, it is fast, and sometimes it feels like it is designed to make you feel afraid. But that is not what we do here. My name is Piper, and my goal today is not to give you more anxiety, but to give you the quiet truth. We are going to separate the rumors from the reality. We are going to look at what is actually happening, what it actually means for you, and what, if anything, you actually need to do. By the time this video is finished, my hope is that you feel more settled than when you pressed play. Now, before we look at the documents, I want to say something important. I am your guide, not your lawyer. Everything I share today is for your peace of mind and your education, explained simply and plainly, the way a good friend would explain it over a cup of coffee. If your specific situation requires legal guidance, please speak with a licensed immigration attorney. But for most of you watching today, what you need right now is not a lawyer. What you need is clarity, and that is exactly what we are here for. So, let us talk about what is actually happening. You may have seen or heard that there are 3 new requirements being confirmed for green card holders this week. And when you hear the word requirements, it is easy to imagine something dramatic. A new test, a new form, a new reason to worry. But let me slow this down for you. Let me give you the full picture. The foundation of what is happening right now traces back to a federal court, specifically a district court in New York. Now, I know that sounds serious, but here is how I want you to think about it. The American legal system is built on something called checks and balances. That simply means that no single part of the government can do whatever it wants without being reviewed. The courts exist, in part, to look at what the government is doing and ask, very calmly, did you follow your own rules? Did you do this correctly? Can you show your work? That is essentially what this court is doing right now. It is not tearing the system apart. It is asking the government to double-check its homework. And that is actually the system working exactly as it was designed to work. Think of it like a large ship in the ocean. That ship does not stop suddenly. It does not spin around in a second. It turns slowly, deliberately, and always according to a navigation plan. The United States immigration system is that ship. It has been sailing for decades, and while courts and policy changes may nudge its direction, the ship itself remains solid, the crew remains trained, and the passengers, meaning you, remain on board. Now let us talk about who this actually affects. In the vast majority of cases, if you are a current, lawful permanent resident, meaning you already have your green card in hand, you are on stable ground. Your status did not change overnight. It does not work that way. Green cards are not revoked by court rulings the way some headlines might make you feel. The requirements being discussed apply to processes, to applications moving through the system, to new filings and pending cases, not to documents you already hold. You can rest easy because the court's action here is procedural. It is about how the government handles future decisions, not about undoing decisions that have already been made lawfully. Your green card, if you received it through a legitimate process, is yours. It is a legal document. It carries legal weight. And no headline changes that. Now let me address something I hear often from the community, and especially from those of you who are a little older, who have been through more and who have seen how quickly things can feel unstable. Many of you watching today are in your 60s or 70s. You may be waiting on a family petition. You may have a son, a daughter, a spouse, whose case is somewhere in a pile at a USCIS office right now, and you are watching the news, and you are wondering, is this going to hurt my family's case? Let me speak to you directly. The law is on your side. The petition you filed, the documents you gathered, the years you spent building a life in this country, those things matter. They are recorded. They are real. Time is a factor, yes. The weight is real. But the structure remains. The structure of family-based immigration has survived administrations, policy changes, court rulings, and national emergencies. It is built to endure. And so is your case. I also want to take a moment to distinguish between two words that people often use interchangeably, but that mean very different things. Those two words are delay and denial. A delay means your case is waiting. It means someone has not yet reviewed your file, or that a new policy requires an extra step, or that the office is processing a higher than normal volume. Delays are normal. Delays are, honestly, one of the most consistent features of the immigration system. They are frustrating. They are painful. But they are not the same as a no. A denial means your case was reviewed and a decision was made against it. Denials are far less common than delays, and even denials can often be appealed, corrected, or resubmitted with additional documentation. So when you hear that something is paused or under review, please hear it for what it is. It is a delay. It is the court asking for a moment of accountability. It is not a door closing on you. Now, let us talk about the silence, because I hear about this all the time. You filed your paperwork, you sent in your documents, and then nothing. Weeks go by, months go by. The mailbox is empty. The online portal has not changed, and you start to wonder if something went wrong. Here is what I want you to remember. No news is often just processing news. USCIS handles millions of cases, millions. And while the courts are doing their work, while the policies are being reviewed, the staff is still processing files. The clock is still running. Your case is still in the system. The absence of a letter does not mean the absence of progress. Sometimes the mail is simply slow. Sometimes the system moves faster than the notification does. That is okay. That is normal. Please do not let silence become a source of fear. If you are genuinely concerned about the status of a specific case, there are legitimate ways to check. The USCIS online case status tool is available to everyone. If your case has been pending beyond the published processing time, you have the right to submit a case inquiry. And if you have an attorney, now is a good time to touch base. Not because something is wrong, but because staying informed is always better than worrying in silence. I want to pause here for just a moment, because behind every green card, behind every visa number, behind every case file, there is a person. There is a family. There are people who moved to this country with hope in their hearts, who have worked hard, paid taxes, raised children, built communities. And now they are watching the news, wondering if all of that was enough, wondering if they are safe. I know you are counting the days. I know the empty mailbox feels heavy. I know that some of you have been waiting so long that the waiting itself has become a kind of weight you carry with you everywhere you go. And I want you to know that I see that. This community sees that. You are not alone in the waiting room. And I also want you to know this. You have already done the hard part. You filed. You documented. You showed up. The system is slow, yes, but it is also structured. And that structure is what protects you. So let me bring this all together. Let us land this plane clearly and simply. What is happening right now? A federal court has asked the government to review its process for certain immigration-related decisions. This is a normal function of the American legal system. It is a check, a balance, not a crisis. Who it affects? Primarily pending applications and new filings currently moving through the system, not current lawful permanent residents whose status has already been granted. What you should do: stay informed. Check your case status through official USCIS tools. Speak with an attorney if your situation is complex or if you have an active pending case. And do not make decisions based on fear-driven headlines. What you should remember: the law is on your side. Time is a factor, but the structure remains. Delays are normal. Denials are rare. And your community is here with you through every step. The system is large. It moves slowly, but it moves forward. And so do you. If this brought you a bit of peace today, let me know in the comments. I read them all. Every single one. Tell me where you are in your journey, what questions you have, what you are waiting on. You are not just a viewer here. You are part of this community. Stay informed, stay calm, and I will see you in the next update.